Lovely, diolch yn fawr. Helo pawb. Mae'n bleser bod yma, prynawn yma. Really pleased to be here and share our school's success, our success, because Matthias is right. It's all of us on board, and I think I hope that message comes across in what I'm going to present to you today. So where are we? I don't know if you know where Afon is. So we are in a village called Cynraeg. We're in North Cynraeg, and that's in Bridgend, County Borough. We're a small school. There we are from the frontage. We've got 148 children, only 6 classes, so 6 permanent teaching staff with 5 support staff. And I think our free school meals percentage probably gives you an indication of the area that we're working in. So we've got 57% free school meals, which is the lowest it's been since I've been working here, actually. We're at our lowest with that. And there's our English additional language, we've got 2.8%. I'm Denise Jones. I'm the deputy head teacher. I'm a full-time teaching deputy head teacher. I teach year 5 and 6. I'm leading the language, the LLC team, and I'm also part of the WRU primary writing team. I grew up in an English-speaking household locally. I grew up in Bridgend. I went to an English medium primary school, but in that school, and this is where everything comes from really, there was a teacher that spoke Welsh and inspired me to love the Welsh language, or love Welsh, because to me from primary school, Welsh was about fun, was about games, was about singing lots of Welsh songs in assembly where we were allowed to clap and get up and shake our hands, and just everything about Welsh in my primary school. And we're talking 1977 year, there we go, I've let the cat out of the bag, you know, was fun. It was fun. So I always keep that in mind in school, that I want Welsh to be fun. Like I said, I'm full-time teaching deputy head, so I'm with the children all the time. I was here. A lot of people say to me, okay, that it's oh yeah, but they've got you there. It's not about me. Okay, I am leading and driving, but I was here at this time. So here's our inspection report in 2013. And the Welsh is not very positive of where we were. Most of our support staff are still the same support staff, and I was here at this point. So something was wrong, because as you can see, our first recommendation coming from that, we were in significant improvement, and it said to improve pupils' writing and Welsh language skills. So what did we do? Well, then in 2013, if I look at how we were teaching, so as lead for Welsh, and with quite a few teachers, you know, who didn't enjoy teaching Welsh as a second language, it was felt that I should take responsibility for the teaching of Welsh across Key Stage 2. So I was swapping and going into everybody else's classes, and being the lead for Welsh. Now, there were lots of things happening which made this wrong. First of all, a primary school timetable changes every day, so we couldn't get the consistency in my teaching throughout the Key Stage. We were de-skilling other teachers because, you know, they weren't developing themselves in the teaching of Welsh language. And so there was no consistency and no staff development at all. There was a greater focus at that point on writing, you know, having lovely books with lots of tenses and looking amazing to people that came in to look at them. But there was a lack of incidental Welsh, a lack of communication around the school, and the children, and this for me was the game changer for what we're doing today, the children's attitude to Welsh was negative. You know, Central South Consortium was sent in to support us, and I remember our swyddogion team member Emma Davis, who's been amazingly supportive on this whole journey, you know, come into my classroom, and I was in year 6, and one of my boys went up to her, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, are you the Welsh lady? We ate Welsh here." And that's exactly what he said. We've been in that position, and that was the beginning really of the turnaround for us. Today, with, like I said, working alongside Central South Consortium, I think the game changer for us is we've got a new head teacher who prioritises Welsh. Welsh is valued, and clearly so. You can see that when you come around the school. She invests a lot of our PDG into Welsh. For example, I know the year of membership can be an issue for lots of children and lots of families. We pay that from our PDG. We were previously a hub school in Welsh as well, so we ran a training programme, and we always found on that first day, teachers said that they felt their first barrier was convincing senior management team or head teachers to prioritise Welsh and therefore get the funding behind them. You know, they had lots of ideas and things they wanted to do to improve their Welsh, but it was getting those senior staff in the school on board. We have 3 out of the 6 staff. We are lucky, so we've got 50% of us are Welsh speakers. 2 of us Welsh speakers, but you know, we've learned Welsh. Our nursery teacher is one of our Welsh speakers. Now, at that time in 2013, we thought all our more stronger Welsh staff should be up in Key Stage 2, and that was a big mistake. We make a purposeful choice to put our strongest, one of our strongest Welsh language teachers in nursery to immerse the children, just like they do in the school, in the Welsh medium school across the road, Ysgol y Ferch, literally 5 minutes from our school. Our nursery teacher and their nursery teacher work very, very closely together to immerse the children so that those foundations of language are embedded right from the beginning of the school. Okay, so our Cymraeg campus journey, we were actually quite late coming to the awards because I didn't really look at it, because I looked at it and I felt we were on a good journey and that we were embedding the things that Cymraeg campus was helping us to do. But we eventually engaged with the awards, and at bronze level, I was leading. I was leading during this target. Cool staff evaluated together. We looked at the targets, and once again in this process, the head teacher showing her prioritising of the value of Welsh within the school. We would have on the agenda of the staff meeting at the beginning of term a whole staff meeting where we would all go through the targets of the bronze award or the silver or the gold, because we kept that going all the way through. We would discuss them and we would interpret them how we felt they needed interpretation for our school. And once again, we had a shared understanding because of this, of their meaning, and staff felt they had ownership of their part in those targets. And then towards the end of term, once again, agendaed on the staff meeting for an evaluation and review of our progress on the journey. You can see there's an action plan, which was the template is provided by Central South Consortium. And this was written by me at this point and the literacy team, and shared with the head teacher and then with the whole staff. The Crew Cymraeg, they took their part in they take their part all the way through in evaluating the targets, and at goal level, giving their ideas and sharing their ideas of what our targets should be. The Crew Cymraeg are so important in this journey, and I'll talk about them a little bit more further on in the presentation. So as you enter the school, straight away from the main door, it's clear that Welsh is a priority. And we've recently had, you'll find out now, my head teacher was off last term, and I had the pleasure of receiving a call from Eston while I was in charge. And the first day Eston arrived, it was an insert day actually, and there were no children in school. And they walked into the school entrance and I could see their eyes were everywhere. And you can see our school entrance there. So we've got, it celebrates our Welsh culture and heritage. It shows the partnership with our international link school in Lesotho, and then comparison of Lesotho and Wales. And then it's got in the corner, it's celebrating our partnerships with local Welsh schools. They took ages looking at that. They really, dissected that, and they spoke to me a lot about the Welsh partnerships with Welsh medium schools, and that took their eyes straight away, and they really wanted to listen, and they felt that was something special that was happening in this school. Now, I don't want that to be special, and hopefully through this, we can share what we're doing and help other English medium schools, get these partnerships strong within their school as well. Cwtch Cymraeg. So along with our helper heddiw sessions, which happen every day, our Welsh environment was the first thing we had to work on. So every classroom in the school has a Cwtch Cymraeg. Mine's behind me there, actually. It's in the photo at the top. Each class has the Cwtch and the helper heddiw, which is a daily Welsh session, as I've said. The resources are based there and the sessions takes place. And around the area, you will see that we use the Continuum document, which is a Central South Consortium document, which has age-related, year group-related language patterns in it. So those patterns will be up in the Cwtch Cymraeg area. You'll see brawddeg or question yr wythnos. You'll see in these areas, y tywydd, lliwiau, rhifau, misoedd, just that, you know, that language that children need on a daily basis. And further up in Key Stage 2, you'll see more ownership of pupils in the Cwtch Cymraeg and more working walls, just like we do in literacy and maths. We've got those in our Cwtch Cymraegs up in Key Stage 2. So the Crew Cymraeg, and to me, so important in the success of implementing Welsh within your school. Ways of choosing members across all different primary schools are different. I know some people have an interview process, some people have got application forms. Literally, it's pupil voice really in our school. Our members are in year 5 and 6. And I'll admit to you, that's because they're in my class. And I like this because I feel with the Crew Cymraeg, I need a daily dialogue. I need consistent and constant interaction with them. I need to know what's going on. I need to know the issues that are around the school. And before, when we were splitting up the crew between other classes, I really found it difficult to engage with them on a weekly basis, let alone a daily basis. So our crew are in year 5 and 6. But during COVID, we adapted the crew and we've now got the crew bach. So each class has got 2 members that are the crew bach, that are an extension of the Crew Cymraeg. So the crew are, you know, they're basically children who are enjoying learning the Welsh language, showing enthusiasm during Welsh days and events like Seren and Spark Day, Dydd Music Cymru. It's not necessarily the more academic children or the children who are succeeding in English and maths. You know, I've got some children now, and we find this every year, that their Welsh language in comparison to their English language skills seem to be stronger. And I think that's because we've chosen to focus on the oracy. You know, I think the fun element with the games and the helper heddiw session every day, they don't feel the kind of pressure on them, I don't think, that they do when they're in a literacy session. So that they just feel that sense of achievement is there for anyone with the Welsh language and the helper heddiw sessions. So once the crew is chosen, the members then, it's really embedding in them their roles, because by the time you get to Gold Award, you know, they are very independent of you, and a crew, a member of children that are coming up with their own ideas and driving the Welsh for you as much as you are. So on the timetable for the Crew Cymraeg will be Question yr Wythnos, which will be introduced on a Monday in Assembly. And this will be then, there'll be 2 of the crew members that will be asking this at break times. And if you can not only answer the question yr wythnos, but extend it a little, you will gain a tocyn iaith for your class pot. So each class has got their pot for tocyn iaith. And then at the end of the week, the Crew Cymraeg count up which class has got the most tocyn iaith, and they win. I don't think he's in the corner over there because we've won in this week. They'll win Tân y Ddraig, which is a really great, you know, dragon that gets to sit in your classroom for you winning the tocyn iaith for the classes for that week. Then we've got Game yr Wythnos, which is outside in the yard. So each Monday, the Crew Cymraeg will go around the classes, and they'll either, you know, go out themselves. Well, they'll get the crew bach together really, because we have separate break times from foundation phase, and the crew bach will lead in foundation phase the Game yr Wythnos. That's taking the Welsh out into the yard for us. And then Amser Cynio, they're at the serving hatch, you can see there, and they're just listening out. We've got sticeri Amser Cynio am pawb sy'n gweud diolch, neu gais glodion heddiw, ysgwelch yn dda, diolch yn fawr, and just embedding those patterns that we are trying to learn them in class but in, you know, in context, you know, getting them to use the language they're learning in lessons in context. And then gwasanaeth yr ysgol, the Crew Cymraeg will be reading the Gweddi'r ysgol, and they will give out on a Friday ysgrifau am siaradwyr yr wythnos, and we also include staff in this. They like to listen to the staff's use of Welsh as well, so they get a certificate on Friday as well if they've spoken lots of Welsh around the school. And the crew, we've all got our lanyards, but what they do at the beginning of the year, they make lanyards of phrases for support staff, for dinner ladies, for our admin officer and our head teacher. And on the lanyards, those members of staff will have relevant phrases to use in the dinner hall, to use, you know, the secretary in the office to welcome visitors, the Say It in Cymraeg posters that are on social media, we've got those in the office. You know, we use all those things because what we're trying to do, we're teaching them the language in class, but actually, like Barry's already said, we want them to use those, what they're learning in context around the school, and we're getting the staff, you know, it's getting the staff on board as well to do the same thing, to give the children the opportunity to use their Welsh around the school. Okay, so the Eisteddfod. Now, as I said, I'm a Welsh learner myself, but my husband's a Welsh speaker, first language Welsh speaker, and both of my children have gone to Welsh medium schools. And because of that experience and going to the Maes and being part of the Eisteddfod as a parent, you know, I knew, even though we'd taken part in netball competitions and sports competitions with the ERF before, because that's the only thing we think we can do as an English medium school, I really wanted my children in our school to get that experience of hearing the language and the Maes. I just wanted to get them that experience. So we began with, you know, being brave enough, because we've got speakers, but we're not expertise on the Eisteddfod platform. Being brave enough, we started with some llafaru, just individual competitions, and you can see them there sat on the stage waiting. You know, we've got no special tutors, but when I get onto partnership working, this is where partnership working can really help you. And, you know, we are really grateful for Ysgol y Ferch o Sgil and how they've led to our success in the Eisteddfod. Our focus really wasn't on the competition and gaining success. It was for the children to enjoy, you know, and use their Welsh. Their Welsh was getting so strong. We wanted them to have that context to use it. And to develop the enjoyment. We also looked for children who had individual talents. Some children were having piano lessons out of school, some children were having dance lessons, and they had the chance then to take part in the Eisteddfod as well. The art competitions are always a great one. I always say to people who ask me, what should we take part in? I say, you know, the art it's a winner for English medium, just to show, you know, that you can access the Eisteddfod as much as anyone else. So what we do is we have an art club after school in the spring term that looks at all the different arts that are on offer and the syllabus, and we will choose what we want to take part in. We will let the children choose which of the competitions they'd like to take part in. Okay, so this is our silver award. More of a whole staff approach here with the planning. Like I said, at the Bronze Awards, it was probably me taking on the lead and the responsibility, but it was more of a shared responsibility at this level now, with everything we wanted embedded, and the Crew Cymraeg knowing their roles, and the staff now having more ownership. Basic language all embedded, using another document, Iaith Bob Dydd, as well, alongside the continuum. Focus is now on developing Welsh around the school, outside the classroom areas, as well as the corridor areas. And like I said, you've seen our school entrance hall. Children as well, to try and use the Welsh they were learning in class now in other contexts around the school. You can see there, Penry. Okay, now he's our Welsh mascot. Now I'm hoping you can see what Penry is. He was a competition set by the Crew Cymraeg to design a Welsh mascot for us. Can you see him smiling there? Now he's not a dragon, is he? He's not some people have a little sheep. I'll give you a clue. He's called Penry a Pick and Lap. So do you know what he is now? Can you see what he is? He's a little Welsh cake, Penry is. And he will be on different display boards around the school. And Penry will use the patterns from the continuum on the display boards because, and I'll pick up something Estin said to me, which I was really proud of. And they said to me, Denise, as they looked around the walls of the Welsh here is thought about. The Welsh that's up on the walls is thought about. You know, I've got a science wall over there that I could put a few science words that I've translated up, but it's not relevant to them. So the vocabulary that's up, you know, is driven by Penry, is driven by the consortium, and is a child can look at Penry and what he's saying and any Welsh word up and they can read it. There's no point having it up if they can't read it. So, you know, that would be my little advice to you. And that really, you know, impressed Estin when they came. We also wanted to improve our Welsh across the curriculum. This was once again some professional development helped along by the consortium, Swyddogion again. We chose as a staff and the Crew Cymraeg 2 subjects, so art and PE. The Crew Cymraeg then developed a display which is still in the hall with all language patterns the teachers could use and the commands during PE. And they're all up in the hall, as I said, as a teaching tool. Partnership working, this was really embedded. And you know, this came out as really strong for us. We work in partnership with Ysgol y Ferch o Sker, which is our local Welsh medium school. So I know during COVID, when we came back, you know, we thought very innovatively, didn't we, about home learning, and we did it with everything else. And I wonder if everybody kept the Cymraeg going over COVID, you know. For us, it didn't stop our Cymraeg campus journey. We were just the same as everything else, had to try and think of different ways to keep it going. The Crew Cymraeg, as you can see, well, we developed a Google Classroom for them to continue meeting and to continue the evaluation and the progress against our targets. We use Google Meets to meet with them. The Crew Cymraeg developed a website as well, and if you jump onto our school website, Afon Felin Primary, and click on the Cymraeg and at the top, you will see the Crew Cymraeg's website and everything that is being developed by them on that. And so through that, we could still celebrate Dydd Music Cymru, the Neges Heddwch yr Urdd, all of those things. And we also took up the Urdd, put something called yr Awr Fawr out. This was, so children in Key Stage 2 accessed this and took part in bilingual cookery, dance and craft sessions at home. And for us, the success of this was, it was in their homes. So their families were also listening to the sessions. So Welsh was now at home with them as well. We had Eisteddfod digidol, so we still had our Eisteddfod, Penry, you know, you could earn Penry points if you took part. And then each year group, a class had a medal for the winner of the Penry points. And this, once again, we had some fantastic videos, you know, of TikTok dances and things like that, but with the parents joining in to Welsh music and Welsh songs and Welsh bunting to celebrate St. David's Day. It was really great. So our partnership working, in my opinion, you know, this is our most, for me, I love our partnership working. It's the most important part of our journey. This is where the greatest impact is for the learners in our school for their language use. We began working with Ysgol y Ferch o Sker in 2017. We began with a Help a Heddw session where they came over to our school and we did it jointly. Mine were terrified. They were terrified because to them, children who spoke Welsh were coming over to speak to them and they just felt, how are we going to do this? I'd already shared the Help a Heddw questions with the teacher in Ysgol y Ferch o Sker. The children were going to come over. So they knew what they were going to be asking and saying. And to be honest, it's all those things you would say naturally as a child. Oh, hello, Leo ydw I, dwi'n 10 oed, mae pen-blwydd fi ym mis Mawrth, dwi'n dwlu ar sglodion, beth amdano ti? And well, it was so powerful, that first session. And what it did was, it opened the eyes of the Sker children you know, they were brilliant, because really, who do the children listen to more? Their peers. And the Ysgol Ferch Scare children praising my children, saying, wow, your Welsh is amazing. You could see the confidence boost that our children were getting through that. Plus, our children, you know, using the language in context with another child, you know, speaking Welsh together. It was very, very powerful. Then from that, we started email buddies. So basically through their hub platform, then we're bringing in the writing as well in the communication. They have a buddy, and now we've developed with another school, Ysgol Calan y Cymoedd, and they email each other, but they're only allowed to email each other in Gymraeg. Dim ond yn Gymraeg, maen nhw gallu neud hwnna. A mae yna yn digwydd, I'd like to say weekly, that's the ideal, but you know, it depends if people can get the computers and fight over the Chromebooks. So really, mewn reality, probably pob pythefnos, maen nhw'n cael e-bost, a mae un yn dod nôl, a hyd yn oed nawr, you know, after quite a long time of doing that, they will run up to me with a Chromebook and say, I've had an e-bost. I think they're playing for a football team, and their brother's done this. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's just a really quick way of communicating. Oh, my, fantastic. Okay. So dyma ni eto. So now, scaring us, it's almost as if we've doubled our staff. We're 2 small schools, but we work together now with in lots of ways. You know, our tech teams work together, our school councils work together. Their scare is having something called, they have a concert before the Eisteddfod to showcase all their Eisteddfod work, and they invited us over and we sang together with them. At Christmas time, when there's a concert in the local Pisca Chapel, we have a joint choir with Scare now, and we sing together. You know, so it's a collaboration that I think is the ideal collaboration, because it's a support network for each other as well. You know, we are looking for them now after Christmas. They'll be supporting us in our Eisteddfod and what we want to do in our Eisteddfod, because here it is. So because we worked alongside Ysgol Ferch Scare, and of course, they are very lucky to have this lovely lady, Llun Swain. I'm not sure if Caris is listening tonight, because she's a lovely lady as well. And Caris, you know, I'll just throw this in. I know how fantastic and how powerful this is, because my 2 girls have sang with Llun and Caris for a long time and competed at the Eisteddfod level. And I just, every time I see them teach children, I listen to how they tell the story behind the song and the tradition and where the song has come from and how that is embedded in local history. And they bring so much, you know, more than the language to singing. And I, having used Cerdant, but also having, you know, been on the Jamboree last week and seen Emma O'Heed and what's that done for, you know, English medium schools, you know, cerddoriaeth, music is so powerful for children. So there you can see Llun teaching a group of our children Cerdant, and we've, you know, Ysgol Ferch Scare has let us borrow it. Well, we work together. We're one staff now. We are as one. So what is ours is theirs, and what is theirs is ours, I would say. Okay. So there's Llun, and there, you know, there's Tylo, Caris's son, playing the harp for us as they perform in Coleg Pen-y-bont in front of an audience, you know, and there we are, you know, quite a few years ago now. That's when the Eisteddfod was in Bridgend for the first time, and there we are showcasing Cerdant for the first time we've competed, and we're in it to win it again now yn Cyfyrddin blwyddyn nesa. Okay, so keep your eyes out for us, pawb. Dyma ni. Not too long now. I just say to everybody, look, you get lots of groups coming into school, don't you? We've just had Children in Need Day. You know, if you get Children in Need resources, maen nhw'n dwyieithog. So fan hyn, you know, instead of getting, oh, hi Pudsey, you know, shwmai Pudsey, we had the sheet last week and it had on it rhifau, it had lliwiau, it had vocabulary like adio, lliosi, a tynnu, the vocabulary that is within my children's you know, that's what we want them to learn. So instead of using the English sheets, we use the Welsh sheets. You know, the Design to Smile, it's always bilingual. So I always encourage the staff, use the Welsh sheet, as long as it's just like the language up on the walls, as long as it's within the children's experience. I put up on Twitter yesterday, thank you for liking it, Matthias. Our curb craft lady is a Welsh learner. You know, she was out there yesterday doing the curb craft session with year 2, and she was using the words edrychwch, pawb yn gwrandewch, edrychwch ar yr hewl. You know, so she's using our curb craft session as a bilingual session. We've got an apprentice from the WRU. His name is Rhys. Ath Rhys I Ysgol Gyfun Llangynoed. He does his rugby session after school. He uses his Welsh, you know, within the children's experience. So, you know, our bilingualism is part now. Our Welsh is part of everything we do within the school. There's all our partnerships there. Mentor Iaith is something that I picked up on via social media, and Mentor Progor have been amazing. They've been absolutely amazing. I mean, they've come in and done workshop for Santa's Dwynman for me, treasure hunts, you know, they were absolutely thrilled. Now, I would suggest to English medium schools to approach their Mentor Iaith. Maybe you won't get the same, you know, I know someone who approached a Mentor Iaith and they went, oh, can you give us a bit of time to get ready for English medium provision? Now, Brog, or, you know, they were thrilled and they just said, right, let's work together then. Let's see what we can do. And, you know, it's expanding the people now that are using the Mentor Iaith, isn't it? You know, within the area. So I would suggest if you're not already using your Mentor Iaith, that you do that. Here's our Gwobr Ail, just to, you know, finish it all up. So what did we do? How did we extend? The Crew Cymraeg, they were really interested now in helping adults to learn more Welsh because they were having such fun with learning Welsh themselves. They developed their website where they made little videos, just like the construction and the sentences, the language patterns that they do in Helper Heddw every day. And they put videos of themselves saying, oh, oes proud to ti? And then you get in the response, oh, ble wyt ti'n byw? And then you get in the response. And then we were highlighting this then to the parents for them to access in. I was putting links, you know, from all you lovely people out there who have got fantastic Dysgwr courses on, you know, they are all on the Crew Cymraeg website, you know, getting our families and our parents, trying to link them up with some of you that are listening in today. They also got into, they wanted to know why it was worth them being bilingual. What was in it for them for learning Welsh? The Crew Cymraeg wanted to know. So year 5 and 6 went about researching that. Why is it important to be bilingual? And there you can see them there. They produced a display, year 5 and 6, made leaflets in their literacy lessons. Their English literacy lessons, they went up with a display to Pye Library, and we had a big board right in the entrance of Pye Library saying, Afon Felyn are telling you this is why you should learn Welsh. You know, with all the contacts they can get in touch with and all the leaflets that the children had made there for them to take away. And that was a very powerful thing that they did. And we had lots of people contacting us from there. And Elaine, that you can see there, the librarian, was a Welsh learner herself. So she was really eager to come down here and see what was going on and then, you know, take that message and put it up. So really, I think the ire for us, we're getting out into our community a little more now. You'll see Capel y Tabernacle and Porthcawl there. Now, many years ago, prior to COVID, we used to have a Gaman Fagani as a cluster. Our Crew Cymraeg are all over that, and they want to, you know, get that back, that tradition back into our cluster this year. So going forward, that's in the plans, and hopefully Scare will help us get that in motion as well. The local English magazine, we always put an article in there about us. So why weren't we putting an article in the local Welsh magazine? So whenever we have Seren and Spark Day, Dydd Music Cymru, and they're celebrating the Gwobr Ail, the Crew Cymraeg, obviously supported by myself, you know, get in touch with them and ask, can we put an article in there? And it's more than just iaith. You know, this is what we're doing now as a school. This is what Learning Cymraeg, Helper Heddw, 10 minutes every day is doing. we're now working, we've worked with Eloise Williams, we're now working with Connor Allen to show the children, you know, Welsh is very diverse, the culture's diverse. He's coming in to work with us soon. I mean, you know, finishing off, the reason that I'm here is because of social media and connecting up with people like you know, who've helped us. You are as much as of our journey as what we've embedded here, because so much of what we've done is from what I've seen. Barry, I've bought your book, Welsh Sentence Builders this year. I just got to get the money off her for the subscription now. That's all that's left to do, really. But, you know, it's about reaching out, really. There's so many people out there to support you. You know, tell them I need help. Tell them, you know, and our staff are now comfortable, because I was saying this to Matthias yesterday. This year, you know, they always judge themselves on their ability to speak Welsh. Actually, I've got a year 2 teacher that's got phenomenal knowledge about Welsh music and Welsh artists. You know, she may not be able to tell me Welsh, but she's bringing all that to me, you know, and it's raised her confidence. I've got a year 4 teacher that's fantastic with creative dance, and she's a learner as well, and she knows lots about the you know, dance and folk dancing with Welsh and Welsh dancing. So, you know, it's empowering your staff. That's what I've done. That's been my responsibility, making them feel at ease, empowering them, and giving them the confidence, really, to put in place everything I've told you today. And I'll finish off with this. This is what they've told us now in 22, and I'm not reading it all. I'll just read that first bit. A strength of the school is the way leaders, staff, and pupils work together to promote the school. Hang on, because Barry's in the way now with our word at the end there. To promote the staff, right. A strength of the school is the way leaders, staff, and pupils work together to promote the school's Welsh identity and the language of Wales. As a result, many pupils enjoy improving their Welsh language skills and are confident when speaking Welsh around the school. That's it for me. That's it. And thank you everybody who's listening, because you may have been part of our journey in some kind of way. So diolch o galon for letting me share that with you all today. I've been really grateful for the opportunity to show you all where we are in Afnyfelin. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me anytime, come and visit, please feel free. Diolch yn fawr.